A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Let's start with the great name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the most merciful and almighty. We have started chapter 25 from your curse that is man in his environment. Today our topic of discussion is actually the ecological succession. Now we will start the topic ecological succession. You know that in daily life you are seeing a lot of the plants that are growing in different areas. uh, in our homes we are just vegetarian. We have different types of vegetation in our home, as well as we have different types of vegetation in around us. So all these vegetation are actually, these are actually the plants, these are actually the plant that is present around us. So today we will discuss how, with the passage of how, with the passage of time, have different bare areas, the area in which there is no plants, in which there is no plants. It's mean that an area, how an area is occupied by the plants. So in this topic we will discuss the ecological succession. What is ecological succession mean? It is actually nothing but the occupation of an area by different plants communities with the passage of time. It's actually a slow process. So just look at the definition of the ecological succession. That is the process of gradual and successive occupation of an area by different plant communities. As you see that I have told you in the definition earlier, there is actually what, there is actually the occupation of different plant communities, the occupation of an area by different plant communities with the passage of time. But you must have keep in mind that ecological succession is actually a slow process, or you may say that the change in the community structure and non-living environment of an ecosystem over a period of time. So we may say that we know this occurred change in the community structure with the passage of time. With the passage of time, we know that actually a community, an ecosystem is actually the combination of community along with its non-living environment. So today we will discuss that how an area, half an area is just occupied by different plant communities with the passage of time. So first of all, we have two terminology in this topic, that is actually pioneer and climax. So first of all, you must have to know, while studying the ecological succession, we come across two topics, that is a pioneer and climax. So first of all, we must have to know about the pioneers, that what is actually the pioneer mean. So the first species which initiates start the succession. So you're just seeing here that you are seeing here that actually the first species which initiate or start a succession is called pioneer. Whenever there is no species at the earth's surface, they not happen. So this with the passage of time, this occur, with the passage of time, this occur the growth of the different plants with the passage of time. So the first species that actually begin to grow, that start to grow on bare land, that species which just for the first time start to initiate or start the succession, that species actually known as the pioneer. And the next one, that is climax. What is climax? What does the word climax shows us? So the word climax show that last vegetation in area is actually that climax. What is climax community? So you are just seeing here that the last vegetation area is climax, and the community of the climax is called climax community, fine and stable community in which population of different species remain uniform. Okay, so now we have to categorize the types of the succession, and what are the basic types of the succession. So when we are categorizing or the succession, we are just going to detail of the succession. We come across two terminologies. We have classified the succession on the basis of origin and on the basis of habitation. So the first one, that is the on the basis of origin. So we will discuss first of all the types of succession on the basis of origin. The first one, that is primary succession, and second one, that is called secondary succession. So what is primary succession mean? So the establishment of plants inland that has not been previously vegetated. It means that whenever an area have, whenever there's an area and it has no plant, it has no plant, and there's occurred the beginning of the vegetation. So that vegetation we just started first time, it's mean that before this the area has no vegetation, and it is the first time vegetation that is just started at an area, in an area. Whenever the first vegetation that is started in an area, that first vegetation which start in an area is called a primary succession, or the establishment of plant in land there has not been previously vegetated. We have a land, it has no plants, and with the passage of time there's occurred the beginning of the vegetation. That type of succession is known as the primary succession, or it's also called a prime first time vegetation. Okay, so now we are going to we are moving toward the next type, that is secondary succession. What is secondary succession? Succession on a land where previously vegetation is removed by human disturbance such as fire, deforestation, etc. Yes, we are just familiar with the common cause of the deforestation, that man is just cutting down different trees for different purposes, and such process in which we are just removing the plants from the earth's surface in an unwashed and unplanned manner. That is known as deforestation. So actually deforestation led to desertification. It also causes desertification. It's just a statement, but there's whenever we are discussing the secondary succession, we must have to know about that. Secondary succession is actually the succession on a land where previously vegetation is removed by human disturbance. It's mean that secondary succession is actually the second time vegetation. That is actually the second time vegetation. It's mean that previously an area was occupied by different plant, and with the passage of time, due to certain human disturbance such as fire and deforestation, the area was just cleaned. The area was just clean, and there were no plants to remain. Okay, so with the passage of time, whenever there's occur second time where there's occur second time vegetation at that land where previously vegetation is removed, that succession is known as the secondary succession. Next, we are moving toward the types of the succession on the basis of habitation. That what are the types of the succession on the basis of habitation? So first of all, you must have to know about that there are two types of the ecological succession on the basis of habitation. The one is that is zero arc succession, and next the second one, that is hierarch succession. What is zero arc succession? Succession on dry bare ground or rock is called as zero arc succession, and you must come across certain term, that is actually the word share. What is the word share? Whenever we are just discussing the topics that arc succession, we will come across a terminology that is actually share. That what is share? As you see here, that is zero share. So what does the word share mean? Series of changes in the process of succession. Whenever there's occur changes in different plants vegetations. Here we are just saying about that, we are just talking about different plant, that with the passage of time different plant communities are evolved. How they are evolved, there's occur with the passage of time, there's occur changes in plants. So that series of changes which occur in the process of succession, this is known as sear. So what is zero sear? Zero sear is actually series of changes in the process of zero succession. Okay, so zero sear is actually divided into two types, the lithosphere and the samosphere. We will discuss the lithosphere in detail. After this, we will discuss the different stages of lithosphere in detail in the next video. Okay, so just we have now classified it generally. Okay, so zero share are of two types, that is the lithosphere and the samosphere. What is lithosphere? Changes in succession on rock and changes in succession on land. Samosphere is actually succession changes in succession on sand. Okay, so what is hierarch? Hierarch is also, that is also an example, that is also a type of the ecological succession. That what is hierarch? Succession in aquatic habitat such as shallow water, pond and lakes, etc. And the changes, that a series of changes in the process of hierarchical succession is known as hydrosphere. As you are seeing here, that I have written a diagrammatic representation of this in order to clear your concept about the ecological succession. After this, we will discuss the stages of lithosphere in detail in the next video. Okay, so first of all, it's a bare land. There is no plant. Are you seeing here that there is no plant? With the passage of time, what happened? Crustose lichens, we will discuss it in this the stages of lithosphere in detail, but just I am just clearing your concept that how ecological succession occur with the passage of time. It's a bare ground where there is no plants. With the passage of time, there's occur the growth of the crustose lichen. After the crustose lichen, there's occur the growth of fruticose and foliose lichens. Okay, you know that what is lichens. I will discuss in the this next topic that what are lichens and what are the types of lichen, and it's just I'm just telling you that lichen is actually the symbiotic association of a fungi, that is actually the symbiosis association of fungi and algae, but I will discuss it in detail in the next video. Okay, so after this there's occur changes in the fruticose and foliose lichen, it develop into the mosses. Mosses are actually the bryophytes, you know, that are the atracheophyte plants. Okay, they have no vascular bundle. So with the passage of time there's occur changes in the mosses and it develop into the herbs, and then with the shrub and with the trees, and at last there's occur what there's occur changes in an area, and there's develop a lot of the herb shrub and trees in an area and mosses, and that will at last that will form forest. It's all about the ecological succession. In the next video we will discuss the stages of lithosphere. Okay, wait for the next video and subscribe our channel and press the bell icon that you will get our new videos. Okay, thanks.